How's it going, everyone? So today we're back in the garage and we're going to do some more work on the RB26. So I'll put in some clips after this intro of what I did last time. I installed the throttle cable holder, and I also started on putting the injectors back in the fuel rail, but then I realized that I was missing one of the O-rings on the bottom and was looking everywhere and couldn't find it, but then once I'd actually almost packed up everything, I found it. So anyway, I'll show those clips after this intro and then roll into what we're doing today. Okay, so now we are going to tackle the injectors and the fuel rail. So we're just running the standard fuel rail. We'll just put the injectors back in, and then we'll put them in with some silicone grease so that they're not dry going in, and then we'll chuck the fuel rail on and hopefully it all bolts up nice and easy. Alright, so all the injectors are back in. Just use some silicone paste again on the O-ring so they didn't go and dry, and I've just put some also on the bottom O-rings, so it's good to drop in. Got the bolts here that hold the fuel rail down, so now we'll put on the motor. Alright, so the first thing we're going to get into today is the rocket cover gaskets, or cam cover gaskets. So first thing I have to do is, with the head, is put these baffle plates back on, so they just drop over like that, and then a washer and a nut. So I'll install those first, and then I have the new rocket cover cam cover gaskets here, so we'll put them on and then we'll tighten it all down. We've just got to put those little like half moon things in here with some RTV and a bit of RTV around those flat spots there, and then yeah, tighten it all down, it should be good to go. Right, so the baffle plates are all on, good to go. So now we're going to move on to doing the gaskets on the cam covers. So I'll just put some silicone paste on the gasket, and then I'll RTV in the those half moons in the back, so that the gaskets aren't going in dry, and it should drop in and tighten up nicely. Alright guys, so the gaskets are in. Really helps using that silicone paste, they just go in quite nicely, and just tried to make sure that they're all hard down. So I've just sprayed some brake cleaner on a rag and cleaned all around the edges here, so there's no build up of dirt or any gunk on there. They'll affect the seal of the gasket sealing. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of RTV on these two flat spots, and RTV these new half moon gaskets in, and put some over the, just around the bottom and maybe each side of it, just each side of there, and then we'll chuck them on. Right, so the cam covers are now installed. Tighten them all down, good to go. Right, so a few more things got to do now is, not sure what I'm going to do next. I've got new spark plugs to go in, so I just got to double check I've got a spark plug spinner. So I can put those in, and then we're going to do the, got a head oil drain return. Should go from there, wrap around the, down into, I've got a fitting to go down into air, so it returns back down into the block. And then I'll push oil down to the sump. Right, so we're now going to do the head oil drain that I got purchased from Franklin Engineering. It's a company here in New Zealand. You can check out their website if you're keen to get one yourself. I believe the whole kit, so you get that, all the fittings and the line for about 120 bucks. Now it comes with this, which I got welded onto this aluminium plate. My mate's dad made this up for me, so that'll just bolt on down there like that, and then the head drain will plug in there, and then the braided line will swing around the back and go in there. So I also just made up a little gasket, so that'll go on the back of there. So now we'll fit the head drain fitting into the back of the head. Just make sure we'll put some silicone paste on the O-ring so that's not going in dry, and then we'll also put some Loctite on the threads about halfway along this thread, because some of it will be obviously in the head because you don't want these coming loose. And then we'll work out how long the line we need. We can cut it, and then we'll install the fittings, and then should be all good. Alright, so I had to pull the head drain fitting back off to put this on. It's got like a tapered, well, I'm pretty sure it's a tapered thread on it, so I know it looks like it's not, well, it isn't wound all the way in, but I checked on the website and that's how their ones sit. So we've got that wound on, tightened up, that's all tight. We've got the one down here, I'm just loosely put this one on here, the AN fitting, I'll put the other one there, and then we'll measure out our length of hose, cut that, and see how we get on. Alright guys, so that was a mission. My first braided line was done, so that turned out. The hardest part, cutting it was alright with the grinder, and just make sure you like put heaps of tape around and get the tape real tight, and then cut it straight with the grinder, and then I use the air compressor to blow out any dust. but I found that pushing it in, this part over the hose was the hardest part, and then I clamped it in there to then push from that way it in so it was all the way up, and then clamp that bit in there so your hose is like that when you go to put the top part of the fitting in, because with like this it was trying to push the hose out the bottom. So this way I had it clamped and I could hold this part of the hose while I pushed the top part of the thing in to grab the thread. So yeah, good, pretty stoked to I've got it done, and I'm sure next time it should be easier. First time doing anything's always hard. So now we'll install it onto the motor. Alright, so that's all fitted up now. Hopefully it's not too long. It's going to have a look at, I've got to get my wastegate on here and whether that's going to be in the way of that. So that should be fun. So yeah, I might have to heat shrink that, or if it's going to get that welded onto the sump. So anyway, we'll see how we get on with that. Alright, so we've got wastegate on here, which is quite a beast, and I've managed to bend the fittings, well, not bend it, but just move it around so we've got clearance there. So this will definitely have to have like some heat resistant shield on there, so I'll have to buy some of that, and I'll just cover this whole thing because it's going to be real close to the manifold there too. And the last thing you want is that catching on fire. Right guys, so next thing we're going to move on to is I've got some new spark plugs here, so it'd be nice to chuck those in instead of having the old tape just covering the spark plug holes. So we're going with some NGK BKR7Es. My mate recommended these, said they're already gapped properly, and so you can just chuck them straight in. I was running like Iridium tip in the last plugs I did before I got a tune, because the tuner just said it needed new plugs and that's what he chucked in, but they were like almost $30 a plug, whereas these are like $6 a plug or something like that. So they might not last as long, but hey, you get a whole set for the same price as pretty much as one. So we'll throw those in now. Right guys, so that about does it for this video. I've got a bit more done on the RB26, so that's mint. Have another tackle at it, getting some more stuff done later in the week. So thanks for watching, remember to like and subscribe, we'll catch you on the next one.